What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are actually recording a normal video. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh my god, it's not even the end of the month. Oh my god, you've been recording daily and now we're gonna have double uploads? You are gonna have double uploads, okay? We're gonna be checking out the new Archer Commander and the Zenith Skin. The Zenith Skin I've already heard is OP. The Archer Commanders I looked at, but I wanted to keep like my first impressions for another video. As you guys already know by the titles on my videos, I thought I had a brain tumor. So obviously I was not super into like recording content or streaming. I know that I don't have a brain tumor anymore, so crisis averted. Now we are going to be doing the things that we should have been doing earlier. So first commander, I remember looking at this guy a little bit and I wasn't super enthralled. I was also really confused on his tags and versus his skills. So it's going to be a garrison commander. Usually we don't care about these types, but if you remember correctly, this new archer is going to have like a new skill type, so they might have to pair together, similar to when LC and Gorgo first came out. Over here, the first skill we're going to have, we don't actually have a name for it. Mighty Heals heal a large portion of the troops' slightly wounded units, dealing a percentage of this skill's heal strength as true damage up to 5 enemy troops. 5 enemy troops could be gas. If it's a circle AoE, I would love to see another circle AoE in this game. Goodbye, Theodora. We have a full 5 march of chaining people that I care about. That would be awesome. Healing could be good, could be bad. Depends on how much the heal strength is. Depends way more on how much true damage is being dealt. The fact that this is going to work with the new armament set is terrifying. Very, very scary. I do not want to invest in a new armament set. That really turns me off from this commander. If that's going to be the case, Arch formation might just be the move if you just slap Arch on this instead of having to worry about the extra heal strength. Second skill, this commander's archer units gain defense and march speed. Personally, I think it's kind of odd that we're giving march speed to a garrison commander. I think this is the first thing that stuck out to me because as soon as I got to the second skill, I was like, that's kind of odd. I was like, I'm not entirely sure if I like this. It also gives more normal damage, which is nice. Again, if there's like a smite damage archer, then I could see some benefit. For the third skill, this commander's troop takes less normal damage. Fantastic. Honestly, full stop. If it could take like 20% less normal damage, that'd be nuts. Garrison commander, negate all the health debuffs and stuff and the defense debuffs. That's probably fine just in terms of how garrison works. 20% less normal damage taken. If that's like the number, 15% I'd be a little less all in for, but 20% would be really nice. Fourth skill, increases all healing this commander's troop receives. Again, when it comes to defensive things, you don't really care if you're healing anymore, just because as far as I know, your garrisons don't die like they used to. So there's a point where healing really mattered, so the captain would not have to like exit repeatedly, but it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Over here, the health debuff is really nice, but it looks like this could also work for counter rallies as well, which is kind of interesting. The fact that this troop does more counterattack damage, if the troop has fewer units than the commander's troop, this counterattack damage bonus will increase. Just make sure that if you're in garrison or counter rallying, as long as you can keep this guy full, you should be all right. So this is gonna be the second archer commander here. Also, not having any splash for the comms is kind of interesting, but is what it is. Second archer commander, this is gonna be the wheel one, I assume. Skill 1, heals direct damage to a target troop. If serving as secondary commander, mighty heals a large portion of their troops slightly wounded unit. Steals percentage of this troop's, heal strength as true damage. So we're having the garrison tree. The defense tree is pretty good. So I mean, I guess I'm not mad at the difference in trees here. It is a little interesting though, making them have to be paired together. But I guess technically you don't have to have the mighty heal, right? The primary is just gonna have direct damage to a target troop. So this is gonna be a skill damage commander unless paired with the garrison. So the mighty heal might just be a garrison thing. And this might be a replacement for ZL or Herman. I find it really, really difficult to believe they're going to be able to replace ZL or Herman right now. ZL is so strong and Herman is so strong. It's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely in my eyes. Over here, especially because it's versatile like this, the fact that it could also be a secondary, just, it seems like it's too good to be true. Now, then again, we did get, when Scipio was released, he was crazy. When Nevsky was released, she was crazy. When Joan was released, she was crazy. I don't think this is going to be as bad as like the Sargon Tarek release, but I find it very, very difficult to believe that this Archer Commander is going to overshadow Herman or ZL. I'd be very skeptical about that. Now, will it replace Boudica in terms of the Boudica Asher March that we currently have, or the Asher YSG, or the Nebu Asher? Asher's probably still going to be in there, but I think Boudica probably, you know, is probably biting the curve in 4K. Skill 3, this troop takes less normal damage. Whenever this commander's troop used an active skill, it mighty heals up to 3 nearby. Okay, so we have the mighty heal, and the extra stuff does true damage, so you really want this as a secondary to the garrison guy. Less normal damage as well is awesome. Again, this one probably can't have the same amount as the garrison. If the garrison had like 20%, I'd be happy. If this guy had like 15, I'd probably be happy. Skill 4, this commander's troop takes less damage, just full stop, huh? Well, this commander's troop is on the map. It's reduced to a certain amount of units. It's, reduced to a certain amount of units. This is gonna suck. There's no shot that this is like something useful, like 80 or 70%. This sounds something like 50% or less, and that's rough. Oh, Okay, so it loses attack and takes less damage. Oh, so this is like a runaway skill. Maybe this is below 50%. Like you take this much damage and you exit the premises. But on the same token, how much attack do you lose? That's a really questionable skill depending on how much attack you lose. They can't make it like bad necessarily. I just don't know. This is like a garrison skill, right? Because on the open field, you're usually not going like below. Like if you go below 50, like you're probably running home at that point, unless your leadership has told you to frowny face everything. And the expertise here is going to be whenever this commander's troop heals a troop, the heal troop temporarily gains defense and deals more normal damage. Okay, so we could be doing smite damage, but we don't have any smite damage stuff, I guess. And this reminds me a lot of Henry, like a lot of Henry. Between like doing more damage, taking less damage, like Henry and this new commander seem like they would have a lot of good synergy together. This seems very bare bones. It doesn't seem like anything too crazy is coming out of it. I really like the skill damage that we have currently. This commander does AoE, the other commander does direct damage. I don't know if I'm super duper sold on either one of these archer commanders. Personally, I mean, if you're investing in archers, you can still wait for your ZL Herman invest to invest in these guys. I don't really know if they're going to be better. Nothing really has stuck out to me as like, oh, this is incredible, or oh, this is really good. They just look kind of average. They look like they're dipping their toes into the new comms, which seems fine. Finally, Zenith of Power. My take on Zenith. This Zenith skin is better than Dynastic Conqueror, which is the 8% troop defense skin. Came out a few years ago. Dynastic Conqueror was obviously best in slot for a very long time. This is obviously better. The fact they gave AP recovery also on top of this is kind of base. Okay, I really give it to them. This is a no-brainer. If you have been saving up for Zenith of Power, you should get this skin. I have already had like a couple coaching sessions in which like me and people plan out their entire Zenith skin. By the way, I do coaching off stream for 75 bucks a session. I do coaching on stream for 35 bucks a session. I've won 2 Zenith skins. And I've coached a bunch of people who have also won their Zenith skin. Actually, I've only coached one person who after coaching failed to get their Zenith skin, and I told them to pull out after a certain point and they did not pull out. I was like, hey, if day 1 it looks crazy, I was like, I need you to pull out. And they didn't, and they YOLO'd it and they lost. They're still a good guy and they didn't blame me for it. But anyway, point is, this Zenith, absolutely bonkers. You better be prepared before you go for it. There are some new kingdoms where you might just be able to get it. If I'm in a brand new kingdom and I'm like 30, 40 days in and I can migrate to a weaker continent to get this Zenith of Power and then re-migrate back to the big boys, I might just do it. The cost of this Zenith could be absolutely exuberant. For some people, it might be in your best interest to migrate to a easier continent to pick this up. This is an awesome skin. Keep in mind, Twilight Falls is nowhere near as good as it was with the advent of smite damage and with the mighty heal stuff coming out. Best in slot 7 March might have 2 to 3 smite commanders and 1 mighty heal. We might be running Wallace LC. We might be running like Scipio with like Gorgo or maybe like Wallace Gorgo and like LC Alex and Scipio something. And then we got the mighty heal. Maybe it'll be like 3 smite. Anyway, point is, Twilight Falls is nowhere near where it was. Like not even kind of. This is absolutely bonkers. Better be sure that you're absolutely prepared. If you're in a later kingdom, you should be ready to push at least 30 mil for this bad boy, because what I said about migrating to past kingdoms or migrating to weaker kingdoms in order to pick up the skin, there will be whales that will show up in your stuff. They'll be like, hey, like I like to migrate. Like if you're a king and there's a guy who is simply too decked out to ever be interested in your kingdom, he might just be coming to your kingdom to rip this Zenith Power and then dip. So be very aware of migrants coming in. And by the way, guys, hey, cheesing a continent, cheesing some king that does not know better to try and pick up the Zenith skin for the low price of like 80 passports. In the grand scheme of things, 80 passports is a lot. 80 passports is definitely worth this skin. This skin on a 7 March is diabolical, right? We're in a meta right now. We're running 2, maybe 3 cav marches, right? We're hitting the Nevsky Belly into QB Joan, or it could be, if you're running 3, it could be like Nevsky William, QB Joan, XY Belly. Could be something like that, or maybe like Nevsky Belly and like XY William. Anyway, point is, at most you're running 3 cav marches, and bro, minus 10% cav attack for plus 12% troop defense. We are in the advent of Crystal Tech. It's okay for cav to lose some attack, okay? The fact that you have 7 marches getting 12% troop defense, and just look at the AP recovery. I'm joking about the AP recovery. Don't go crazy. This skin is nuts though. This skin is nuts. You should beg, borrow, and steal. Make sure you're completely prepared for it. Whoever you need to prepare with, you know, if you know other people that have gotten Zenith skins before, seeing what they did and how they did it, and making sure you're using the Rise of Kingdoms building and research calculator, all that good stuff, your gold mines, your hospitals. This is what you've come to. Make sure you are prepared, because everybody is going to bring their A game when it comes to this skin. Anyway, that's the new stuff coming out. I might check out like the new armaments and like other new stuff or new gear or whatever. Anyway, this is just the Zenith skin, new archer commanders. I appreciate y'all showing up. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please be sure to drop a like, a follow, consider subscribing. If you guys want to help support the channel, please donate to the Streamlabs link in the description below. If you guys want coaching, remember, it's 75 bucks for an off-stream session and 35 bucks for an on-stream session. Without further ado, guys, take it easy. Have yourselves a great one. Thank you so much for watching.